The benadryl challenge should really just be renamed to "This doesn't get you high and you might die." It's not as catchy as like a challenge, but maybe the rhyme will help you remember. 2020 just really needed something worse to happen, so here's yet another social media trend that could literally kill you. Hey my dudes, I'm Neba, and today we're not just going to be throwing shade on the benadryl challenge, but we're also going to be sliding into a little bit of the science behind it, so you guys can come to that conclusion for yourself. Everything I say in this video has been backed up by peer-reviewed research with all the links in the description box below. And while I'm pointing down here, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? I'm trying really hard to just up my YouTube game this year. This isn't the first time that TikTok has let videos that were dangerous or problematic stay on for way too long. There's a little bit about that at the end of this video, so stick around for that too. Benadryl, or diphenhydramine, is meant to give you a break from your allergy symptoms, your cold symptoms, not be your Saturday night plans. But what exactly is the challenge anyway? So the challenge tells people to take huge amounts, and I won't be saying the exact amount here because I don't want to encourage it, and also the amount that causes hallucinations in one person may actually be fatal to another person. The goal is to experience a high, but the medicine is literally a sedative, so that's a fallacy right off the bat there. And now, I get that quarantine may be boring, but that's still not a good enough reason to poison yourself. You know, you can draw an elephant, do a face mask, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's plenty of things to do that don't involve having a bad trip. And now maybe you're thinking, hey Neba, I've never even heard of this thing. Is this really even a problem? But hey, there's been hundreds of overdose cases this year, with most of those patients ending up in critical care units. A couple months ago, a 14-year-old girl did the challenge and wound up in the hospital with hallucinations and a BPM of like 199. And just this month alone, a 15-year-old girl did the challenge and died from it. Going viral is really not worth risking your life over. If you're really desperate to go viral, I have just the thing that will help you. Just go ahead, grab your cat. These guys are always doing something weird. Just film them for 24 hours. I guarantee there will be a meme in there somewhere. Thank you for being a part of this demonstration, and for allowing me to interrupt your nap. Since Benadryl is an over-the-counter, you can just walk into any store and get it without a prescription. The one that I went to actually had me give them my ID to prove that I was over 21, but a lot of people just keep Benadryl at home, and since it's so easy to get, a lot of people think it's not a big deal, but it can be a big deal, especially because the dose that causes hallucinations is really close to the dose that's life-threatening. Everyone memorized, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell for biology, but in toxicology we say the dose makes the poison. A random thing that I barely talk about is that I have a minor in toxicology. At UC Davis, toxicology was just really fun. We had classes on like, how does LSD work? What do pesticides do? What are the social and economic kind of inequalities of health? But anyways, it's not like a safe or not safe, like one or the other binary type thing. There can be really serious, long-lasting consequences even if you don't die from doing the challenge. Very similar to coronavirus, where like if you get it, there may be some really serious, long-lasting effects. So, don't be going out there trying to get the plague and like get it over with, because that's not how that works. Antihistamine medication like Benadryl targets the histamine production system. The system is what generates many allergy symptoms. When you take this medicine, it binds to histamine receptors on cells all over your body and blocks those cells from signaling the immune system, thus reducing your allergy symptoms. I found this large research study that looked at the side effects in young adults and children specifically, and surprise, surprise, one of the biggest side effects is increased heart rate and hallucinations, because guess what? Diphenhydramine is not just an antihistamine, but it is also inhibiting the actions of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. And acetylcholine, in addition to helping with brain function and your development, it also helps to regulate your heart. A normal dose of Benadryl just helps you to breathe better, or you might have a little bit of sleepiness, but an overdose of Benadryl leads to a whole bunch of problems. You might have a seizure, a coma, you might have difficulty breathing, losing your ability to pee or to sweat. At really high doses, people can die from seizures, but they especially die from cardiac problems. These side effects become more serious as the dose increases, so if you take just like a normal dose, there's no need to panic about having a seizure or anything like that. But once you've taken it, the drug gets into your system fairly fast, and there's nothing you can do at home except wait for the first responders to arrive. So absolutely call the paramedics, because this isn't something you can deal with at home, even with other people around. If you aren't seizing or going into cardiac arrest, you might either be 1, in a coma that's really difficult to wake up from, or 2, so delirious that you can't even form sentences. Like, it's not a high, and it's not a pleasant high. This isn't something that feels good. If you want to get high, just do it the old-fashioned way and smoke some cannabis. Once you finally get to the hospital, you'll get treatment for your symptoms, but you may also get a drug called physostigmine. Remember how Benadryl also inhibits acetylcholine? Physostigmine is a cholinesterase inhibitor, which blocks the normal breakdown of acetylcholine, which basically means you've got more acetylcholine in your system, so more of it can go into the brain synapses and counter the effects of the Benadryl. It is now time for the tea. So, TikTok guidelines say that they don't allow for content that promotes harmful challenges and that kind of thing. And a spokesperson from them like reached out and said like, hey, we knew about this challenge months ago and we've removed all the content, which sounds really great until you realize that there are still videos being uploaded, and a girl died from that this week, which means that clearly the content is still being out there and it's still being shared and it's still circulating out there. You can also see a definite spike in Googling the term the Benadryl challenge after TikTok just kind of like popularized it. Honestly, I have a lot of thoughts on TikTok. I love short videos, there's so much creativity on the platform, I think it's a really cool way to like express yourself, but there's just so many dark sides to it and it's too much for me to get into right now. But hey, TikTok version 2, I mean Reels, just released, so a lot of people are re-uploading their TikToks there, and I have a couple of Reels too if you want to go check them out. Social media ultimately is just a tool, right? And it's a tool that can be used different ways by different people. I think a lot about my videos and I try really hard to make good content, and then there's people who, you know, tell you to go poison yourself. And literally, as I am filming this, a person has live streamed their own suicide on TikTok. The video has been taken down, but a lot of people keep re-uploading the video and it shows up on a lot of people's For You pages, and it's an absolute tragedy. You know, no one should ever have to watch that. My heart goes out to his friends and his family. Can we just go back to like dancing or just like pranking people with the 3 like typing dots gif? Anyways, I know this isn't like the typical video for my channel, but I just felt the need to add some common sense to the world. If you like this, please like and subscribe and comment below your own common sense tidbit into the comment section below, but for the love of begonias, please don't pop a bunch of Benadryl and wind up in the hospital. So until then, I'll see you guys on the next page.